Some of the early settlers in Kansas Territory were involved in the politics and guerrilla warfare concerning whether or not Kansas should enter the Union as a free or slave state. However, many of the people who settled in Kansas Territory came for land and business opportunities. All settlers in Kansas Territory endured the hardships found on any frontier. They raised crops to feed themselves and their livestock. They built houses and stores and established schools and churches. The weather was often a factor, and a large number of settlers left the territory after the bitter winter of 1856. However, because Kansas Territory became a place for guerrilla warfare as the debate over the expansion of slavery led to violence in Kansas, the settlers involved in this debate received the most attention. Events in Kansas and along the Kansas-Missouri border were part of the national conflict that ultimately led to the Kansas Civil War. Between 1854 and 1861, about 56 people on both sides of the slavery question were killed in various conflicts. Even though the Kansas-Nebraska Act opened Kansas Territory for settlement in 1854, a number of people already lived in the area. This included several tribes of Native Americans. Plains Indian tribes, the Kansas Pawnees, and the Osages lived and moved across Kansas, depending on the season. After 1830, about 20 tribes who lived east of the Mississippi River were resettled west of Missouri under federal government's Indian removal policy. In 1853, the government began negotiations to move the tribes again. By the end of 1854, the various tribes had seceded much of the land in Kansas and Nebraska territories to the federal government through various treaties, and they were relocated to the area that became Oklahoma.